Okay, Jane, so yeah, we'll just connect our energies together because we're going to do a quantum holographic echo healing. So just taking some nice, slow, deep breaths. Just going to ask you to take your awareness to your heart center. Just imagine that heart center opening. And just imagine a cord of light now that goes from your heart to my heart. I'll do the same, the purpose of this reading, so we make a quantum connection in that way. And then I'm just going to call in my guides. And I'm going to call in your guides to see if I can connect with them. Okay, Jane, thanks so much. And you can open your eyes when you're ready. So when I tune in to your energy, I get a sense of my guides and your guides. And I do get, I get a strong motherly energy, but I'm not quite sure how your mother was on this earth plane. Were you quite connected or disconnected?
Yeah, we were quite connected.
Yeah. And is she still with us or?
No, she died.
Right, okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little 4-pillar reading just to see where you're up to now. So we use the major arcana, so we're working with archetypes, and it'll give us a picture of where you're at now in your life, your physical, your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual well-being.
I'm just going to close the window, Anne-Marie, sorry. So loud.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, well, I feel like it is.
I couldn't hear it, don't worry. Okay, so this is you. This represents you right now. So this is you going through a bit of a healing process. So the star card represents healing, renewal, a renewal of faith even. It can be like the emotions are really kind of being cleansed out at the minute. In your physical sphere, we've got the tower. So this can represent things around you changing. You know, it can be quite dramatic change as well. In the emotions, we've got the moon card. So the moon can be our subconscious mind. It can be our deepest thoughts and emotions and feelings. So emotionally, you could be really kind of reflective at the minute. You know, you might even want to be on your own. I'm quite a moon emotional person, and it can mean that you can go very deep with your emotions, or your emotions do run very deep.
Yeah.
Your mental is it's good. It's got the Lover's card there. So that can mean that, you know, right now your thoughts are quite aligned with what you want or in your life. I mean, it could represent, obviously, love is on your mind, or you know, that kind of thing. But in the mental, it can actually mean that there's a union of the mind, a balancing of the mind even, or you found something, a passion or something like that. The spiritual area is strength. So this can mean whatever's gone on, you are growing in that area of your life. You know, you're starting to feel more connected to yourself. The strength within you is growing. Yeah. Does that resonate with you?
It does, yeah.
What about the mental pillar with the Lovers card? I'm just interested.
I have no idea, to be honest. I don't know about that. You know, I mean, love isn't on my mind. You know, I'm quite happy in my relationship and everything. I'm just, I think, you know, hopefully it means that I'm starting to sort of like get more balanced. I'd like to sort
How
of
do
like,
you feel about it? What does it mean to you? I mean, what are you, you know, what does that card mean to you? Are you feeling more balanced in your thoughts, or?
I think I don't know if I'm feeling more balanced, but I think that I'm getting to a sort of like a point of determination, which I
Okay,
haven't had for a while.
right.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good. That's good.
yeah.
Okay, so quantum holographic echo healing, do you know anything about it?
I don't know.
It's an energy healing system. So science now proves that really the only thing we're made of is energy. So our thoughts, where we direct our energy, it creates an intention, and intention means that I can intentionally connect with your energy, talk to your energy, and your body, your energy field will give me the answers that we're looking for.
Okay.
So while I connect to your energy field, I'm asking your field, if you like, your vibratory field, the answers to what needs to be healed for you today to move you towards your highest goal.
Yeah.
So one of the things on your consultation form was about, and you just mentioned it before in the pre-chat, was about issues with your weight,
Yeah.
like emotional eating, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it might be that it uncovers some of the reasons for that.
Mm-hmm.
This is a system where you can feel free to share any insights, any thoughts, any feelings, past memories, experiences that come up for you.
Yeah.
If you don't want to share anything, because obviously it's on camera, you know, if you don't want to go any deeper than what,
Yeah.
if we find anything that might be uncomfortable, then you don't have to say anything at all.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to write down what we find. Okay. So first of all, I'm just going to do some pre-checks, and that's just checking your energy, my energy, making sure that we have a clear connection.
Okay.
So I'm just going to do that first. Okay, cool. So, okay. Okay, so it's taken us straight to a timeline. So a timeline is where situations have happened. So let's see what it brings up for us. Sorry, you can't really see what I'm doing, but I'm looking at a workbook, big manual,
Yeah.
with a list of questions in, and I'm using my dowser. Okay, so looking at a timeline for Jane. Where are we working first? Is it here? Okay, so it's highlighting something in the recent past. Okay, so that's just the first place.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's show me failures. Yeah, recent past failures. Okay. Anything else you need to know about this? Okay. Next over here. Okay, now it's going to show us a physical symptom. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's actually physical. It's just the metaphorical meaning of it.
Mm-hmm.
So for Jane. Okay. So show me large intestines, and it means indigestible issues.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so far we've got something that's happened in the recent past. It's triggered a feeling of failure, something along those lines. And metaphorical mean, I mean, it could be a physical, is it a physical reality, the large intestine issues, or?
Yeah, I had stage 4 endometriosis,
Oh,
and
wow.
when I was 37, I had to have a bowel resection because tissue had gone into my bowel.
Right.
And sort of like since then, really, I've sort of had issues. So yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry to hear that. That's not fun. Okay. Okay, so now it's going to show us a core issue and a belief. So these that can be like beliefs that we hold in our subconscious mind, but they can be directing our choices in life. Okay, so identity is the core belief. So let's find the emotion or the statement around that. Okay. And there's an underlying statement about this that says, I am unclean. Would you recognize that in yourself?
No,
Feeling that? No.
no.
Okay, so it says it's not your stuff. So let's see who it's associated to. Okay, I've got mother's issues coming up.
Yeah.
Would you recognize that with that belief?
Yes.
Did mum have, okay, did she like to clean a lot? Was she more
Yes.
on the,
Yeah. She cleaned loads. Yeah, but she
yeah,
was also abused as a child. So
okay. Where we're going next. This session for Jane. Where are we working next? Okay, so now we're going to look at your spiritual energy centers called the chakras. Let's see what's lying in here. So are we working in the root? Okay, so in the sacral, which is where we carry our most, this is probably where so much happens through the energy in the sacral. So what we've got here is an emotion of out of control. So this is where any kind of addictions will lie, any self-soothing when it comes to food or shopping or anything like that. It's the sacral energy that we're leaking from. Okay. So let's see what else it wants us to know. Okay, so we're going back to a timeline again. So it's showing us adulthood age, so 18 plus. So that's just the start. Okay, what else do we need to know about this? Is it here? So now I've got father's issues. So we need to know. Just take a breath. Does that resonate with you at all, the father's issues? 18?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
there something you don't want me to know about that?
No, not at all. I put it in my notes.
Okay. Right. I've got something to do with career around that time.
Okay. What, for me?
Well, relating to father's issues, I can't remember what you put in your notes about father's issue. Father.
Well, I mean, he was working when I was 18. He was like a boiler engineer for BP.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, so 18 plus, father's issues, career. Was he always away with work, or?
No, I mean, he was away emotionally. He was an
Okay.
alcoholic. So.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anything else we need to know about this? No. Okay. So did that cause something within you, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he was always working. He was a typical sort of like addict for everything. He worked hard, played hard, basically.
Got you.
He used to work nights at BP, and then he'd come home, and then he'd go out working with a friend doing landscape gardening, then go back to work. And so he wasn't at home very much. And he started drinking when I was about 12.
Right.
So yeah, and obviously it was a lot worse, as I got older.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Okay. So in this session for Jane, where are we working next? Are we in A? Yeah. Here. So it's going to show us another core issue and a belief. This is around trust.
Mhm.
Okay. I can't control anything.
Yeah,
That resonates with you.
yeah.
Would that be related to the father situation or just in general?
Yeah, I think it probably stems from not having a positive male role model in my life. And so I have had issues with trust. So yeah.
Right, another timeline, okay. So it's bringing in like lots of different elements. Brought in you, it's brought in mom, it's brought in dad so far. Okay, so a timeline. Okay, here, here. Okay, so abuse is coming up. Could be related to the trust. Just check it. Right. Could you take that abuse in some way?
Yeah, I think you know, I suffered quite a lot of emotional abuse as a child.
Which would obviously relate to trust, and I can't control anything.
Yeah.
Everything okay so far?
Yeah.
Yeah. It does bring up stuff.
Yeah.
I can't remember if you were one of the women who maybe asked me, you know, about that, but it does bring up stuff because it's the stuff that we're carrying around in our subconscious mind. So it's all the memories, all the experiences we've ever had are held in the cells of our body.
Yeah.
And unbeknown to us, externally, we are living a program. So
Yeah.
you have a program that it's showing us now because of all these different people, all these different events, all these different feelings that you've experienced. It creates some kind of pattern and program within you that then forces your behavior because you're unconscious to it.
Yeah.
You know, I had one lady yesterday, just, you know, her programming had come through the family line, the
Yeah.
women in her family, and she couldn't understand why she was being a certain way.
Yeah.
Logically, it didn't make sense to her. But when we did the quantum on her, it all came up through the story.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this session for Jane, where are we working now? Are we in A? Okay, so we're going back to chakras again. Okay, so we're in the heart chakra. And we've got sorrow in the heart chakra.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
Yeah. Yeah. As I said, you know, we had a lot of losses in 2018, 4 relatives.
Right.
In the 1 year, all a few months apart. So
Yeah, that's a lot to take.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so it's going to take us back to another core issue and a belief.
Okay.
So we're working in trust again. So under trust, we have a belief, I can't make it work.
Yeah.
Does that resonate with you?
It does, yeah. More to do with my ex-husband, I think. Yeah.
Okay. This session today with Jane. We're working now. We'll be in A. Over here. Okay. So we've got accidents coming up.
Uh-huh.
Does that relate? Can you relate to that?
Yeah, I've had a few car accidents.
Okay, let's just see if there's anything else we need to know about this. Yeah. Got regrets.
Plenty of them.
I've got regrets around this accident, actually. So it's kind of talking to me about that. Let's see if there's anything else we need to know about this. Yeah, is that on this page? Oh, hang on. It's coming up with safety.
Mm.
Anything else we need to know about that? So, and did you have an accident?
Yeah, I mean, I've had like I said, a few car accidents. So
Right. Okay. Okay. So accidents, regrets, safety, they're all kind of tied in. Was one of them more your fault where you that kind of had a bit of regret about it afterwards?
yeah, possibly just one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pulled out in front of somebody. I didn't see them. I just
Yeah.
didn't see them. So yeah.
Yeah, it can happen. Okay, so yeah, that's obviously coming up. That's in your field. Does that still affect you now, do you think?
No, not at all.
No?
No, I haven't thought about it until you've
How
just
long ago was that? How
good,
long
good
ago?
long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's funny how this stuff is just
Yeah.
still alive in us, isn't it? Okay. In session for Jane today, where are we working now? We're in A. I actually think that's concluded the session. So safe to move on to the healing. Yeah. Okay. So let's just go back over where we were. Now let's just kind of summarize the reason why you reached out to me to have a session, because we didn't really talk about that on camera. So one of your main things, I think your end goal was to get healthy, wasn't it?
Yes.
But if you could sum up emotionally, like how you've been feeling.
I think I've been feeling quite stuck emotionally. I don't think I've sort of like moved on from a lot of the trauma surrounding. Like I said, over really about the past 10 years, I've lost quite a lot of people
Yeah.
that have been close to me. And and like that includes my dad and my mum. He died young. He was just coming up to his 63rd birthday when he died
Right.
of alcoholic liver disease.
Right.
And then my mum died in 2018. Her lung cancer was missed during an X-ray, and then by the time they did find it, it was terminal. And her death affects me most because it was really traumatic. She really suffered.
Oh.
She really did suffer, and yet my dad passed away really peacefully, and yet, you know, he'd been sort of like worse in his life. You know, I just felt like, you know, if anyone didn't, it sounds terrible to say about your own dad, but if anyone deserved to die not peacefully, it would have been my dad rather than my mum. She had such a traumatic life from childhood all the way through, and then for her to die that way as well, and in a way that she feared, you know, it was just really traumatic. And then, you know, I lost a best friend to cancer as well, and both my grandparents on my mum's side and my grandmother on my dad's side. So, you know, and then my partner lost his dad a few months before we lost my mum. And then I lost an uncle, and then he lost an aunt. And, you know, it's just sort of felt like over the past 10 years, there's been a lot of loss. And I think, you know, as I say, I think I've just sort of tried to deal with it as best I can. But I think, you know, given my childhood and my experiences, I've not ever really been equipped to deal with all of that. And even though I've sort of like had counselling in the past, you know, and you talk about things, it doesn't actually take away the emotion, and it doesn't really tell you how to deal with it still, you know, even though you talk about it, it's still there, if that makes sense. And it's just sort of like trying to move on from that. I mean, I did have counselling, and it was CBT, and, you know, I went over all of my life and everything that happened and all different things. And she just sort of like said, there's people that can't get out of bed for less. She said, I don't know how you haven't had a breakdown before now. But I'm not that person. I will always strive on. I've sort of like got this resoluteness about me. I'm very strong, and I sort of won't let myself get to that. But I think the way that I do deal with it is not really looking after myself, you know, not eating the right foods. I don't sleep well. You know, I'm sort of like, I suppose, yeah, sort of like self-medicating with food. And really, since like my mum's death, you know, alcohol more as well. I mean, I never really used to drink, but, you know, it sort of like got worse really, sort of like from when mum died and through lockdown. And I think that's where a lot of my weight has come from. You know, I could easily drink, you know, 4 or 5 bottles of wine a week, which I know isn't good, you know, not good for my health, not good for me. You know, so, and I don't want to continue to do that. I mean, I can stop. I'm not sort of like, well, I mean, I'm very, very aware, obviously, because of my dad. You know, and I don't sort of like wake up feeling like I need a drink, and I don't drink during the day. It is purely in the evening. And, you know, just because I enjoy it, I think, really, that's the thing. It's the only thing that sort of relaxes me.
Okay, so you haven't found anything else that you feel is giving you the satisfaction that you would like in your life in a healthy, positive way?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And are there ways for you to look for that if you were to be determined, as you say you are, and I can see you are by the strength card in the spiritual sphere? Just let me ask one question. Your female energy, or mum's female energy, how would you describe your, let's just put it, feminine power on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah.
10 being the strongest. Where is it, or where would you describe yourself that it's been throughout your life?
I'd probably say about a 6, maybe.
Yeah. And what was mum's kind of feminine power like, if you like?
Yeah, it was the same. I think I've learned a lot from my mum. You know, I think it didn't matter. I mean, you know, she'd be so ill, and yet she would still strive on. You know, I mean, even to the point that even though when she had her cancer and she was at home with me and I was like trying to look after her, she was sort of like, you know, rearranging my bookshelf, taking all the books off and polishing the bookshelf and putting them all back on, and that sort of character. You know, she didn't sort of like ever let anything sort of beat her, you know. let it. And I think I'm similar in that way, you know. I sort of won't let anything beat me, but I feel, just like I said, really, I think through lockdown, not seeing anybody, not really being able to go out, not do things, I think, and also I was made redundant as well, so that didn't help. Although I've managed to keep going, again, like I said, this is my personality. I've kept going through the whole of lockdown with bits and pieces of work that I've got, and even now I'm temping, but I haven't managed to secure a permanent job, which is what I'd ideally like.
Yeah.
So
how could you then strengthen that? How could you ramp up that feminine power? Now, the feminine power isn't necessarily the doing aspect of us, it's actually the opposite. So I personally feel that feminine energy is lacking a little bit. The masculine energy might be there, which is that I can do.
Yeah.
I can be proactive, I can do this and I can do that, but that's actually the masculine energy.
Right.
So the feminine energy is receptive. You know, it receives, whether the male energy goes out and acts and gives.
Yeah.
So the feminine energy is really more of a embodiment, really, not doing anything, but feeling powerful, even just by doing nothing. So it sounds like obviously you want to distract yourself from just being.
Okay.
Because you're obviously looking for external ways to self-soothe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So empowering yourself by finding the things that bring you joy, which obviously are healthy, because it's sustainable joy, it's real joy, bliss, ecstasy, not a false one. So it's finding those ways, but first of all, it's an honoring of the self, it's a quietening down, it's a being still.
Yeah.
Coming into presence, it's a coming back into the body, actually.
Yeah.
And starting to realize how you feel in this vessel that you're in. Noticing where you feel uncomfortable, where the issues lie in your body. It's like scanning your body from head to toe. You know, if I scan my body now from head to toe, I'd probably really start to notice that I have some aches and pains going on.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking to you and I'm doing this, I'm distracted.
Yeah.
But when I bring myself back into presence, I can start to soothe the body. I can give the body what it needs. So I can start to calm down. I can start to come more into an open, flowing state of being rather than an active state of being.
Yeah.
Because if we're in that state, at the end of the day, we need to soothe down, we need to calm down, we need to switch off. And it's normally reaching for food or reaching for alcohol or getting the credit card out.
Yeah.
You know, in some way, shape or form. So if you want to help yourself, it's, first of all, the most simplest thing is to quieten the mind if you can, and to just bring your mind into a state of being in the body.
Yeah.
Do you have any ways where you can, strategies where you know that worked for you that you've maybe tried before?
No, I haven't really. I mean, it's not something that I've really been able to do from quite a young age. I mean, I used to be very in tune with my intuition, and I'd say up really until the age of 18, even though things were going on that were traumatic.
Yeah.
I sort of, you know, used to have quite a lot of intuition, and I could, you know, sense things, and I was, I suppose, a bit psychic. You know, I used to know when the phone was going to ring and who was going to be on the phone, and then no sooner had I thought the thought that would happen. And the same with people. I'd sort of like suddenly say, oh, so and so is going to come around the corner in a minute, and they'd come around the corner. I used to have that ability, but I've completely lost that, completely lost it. And I don't know how to get it back, and I don't know how to still my mind. I mean, I have tried meditation, but I just find it so difficult. I just really really struggle, you know. But my mum was the same. She would always distract us, you know. She used to clean, she was always on the go, she never used to sit down and relax. And I think, again, I've sort of learnt that behavior, because, you know, it was always I'd feel guilty if I was sat there doing nothing and my mum was maybe doing some housework or something as a child, or when I mean, I left home at 21, so I wasn't living with her, you know, for years. But, you know, it's yeah, just all of those sort of things. I think I've just not been able to get back to my original self, and that's who I think I was. I think, you know, I was meant to have that ability, but somehow I've sort of shut it down. I think, you know, I've been told several times by people that, you know, I could be quite a powerful psychic.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I can imagine that too, for some reason. You know, I can feel that about you. And what I picked up on at the beginning around the mother's energy, which is why I asked the question about the connection or the disconnection. Even though your mum and you had a good bond, there was definitely a disconnection going on with that feminine energy. Now, whether it meant you're disconnected to yours or mum was disconnected to hers, if you guys were close, then there was just something around this feminine energy where there's a disconnect. And to me, that's where the biggest healing for you can lie.
Yeah.
So if you've just compared how it feels for you to be connected and then to not be connected,
Yeah.
difference. When you're connected, you're online, you know what's going on. You know, you've got these psychic abilities, you're in tune. When you're disconnected, you zone out, you probably copy learned behavior, because that's what you were shown. This is what we do, Jane, if we don't want to be in our bodies anymore. We disconnect, we zone out, we be busy, we distract, and then we do whatever and we go to sleep and we get up and do the same thing again.
Yeah.
That's total disconnection to your power. It can't come online when you're doing that.
Yeah.
So it really depends on where you want your life to go next.
Yeah. I definitely want to be more connected again. I mean, you know, I felt better then, and more, you know, through the session I've noticed a lot of like not being in control. And I think that's the thing. I think when I was younger, I felt more in control than I do now, you know, of myself and, you know, everything else. I feel like I've lost my way a bit. I've forgotten who Jane is, because I've, like, you know, used a lot of my energy trying to help my dad and trying to look after him. And then, you know, when I was younger, I sort of like, I never really felt like I had a childhood, if that makes sense. I felt like I had to grow up very quickly, and I was sort of more like the parent than the child throughout my whole life. So I sort of don't know, I suppose, I don't really know who I am and what I'm meant to be and what I'm meant to be doing. But when I did go through a period in my sort of like early 30s where I did massage and reflexology and Reiki, and I really did get into the zone. And funnily enough, my friend that died of bowel cancer, every time I did reflexology on her, I'd feel a lump in her bowel area on her foot. And I had mentioned it to her, but as you know, you're not meant to diagnose, but I just said that's something that you might want to check out. And 2 years later, she died of bowel cancer. And, you know, every time I did her feet, there was always a lump there, you know, and same with another lady who died of kidney disease. Every time I did her feet, the kidneys would be indicative. So I do think there's an intuition thing in me. And again, as well, I mean, you know, again, in my early 30s, I sort of like was working with somebody as a temp. I was temping at the time, and I didn't know the girl very well, but I just said, look, I'm really sorry. I said, but I'm sort of getting a message coming into my head every night when I'm in bed to say to you that you've got to stop checking your breasts. And she just went white in front of me. Wow. And she just said, I do that all the time. And I said, well, someone's telling me to tell you to stop, because you're going to manifest the cancer if you keep doing it. So can you stop? And that just came to me. But I've not had that. I had it when I was quite young, and then just that little period of time. But I think because I was doing all of those things, I was in that flow state, as you say. I was sort of calming down because of the massage, reflexology. But then again, I did stop that, and then went on again to being busy all the time. So
okay, so that makes sense. So that gave me massive goosebumps when you said that about that lady. That's so amazing.
yeah.
And that speaks volumes. So that's really like proving to you when you are in your body,
Mm,
you are connected.
yeah.
And when you're not connected.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot going on in your field, as do we all. You know, you've got a lot of things, different aspects that are in your field causing a dissonance. So we'll go through it. Recent past failures, large intestine, indigestible issues. That can be an underlying emotion regards it. Identity, I am unclean, mother's issues, the sacral out of control, which is definitely one for that. 18 plus father's issues, the career, trust, I can't control anything, abuse, heart, sorrow, trust again, I can't make it work, accident, safety, regrets. So everything that came out you could relate to. Um, and it's interesting because there's so many different facets. There's your stuff, there's mum's stuff, there's dad's stuff,
Yeah.
you know, there's physical health in there as well. So all of that is probably like it's active in you.
Yeah.
So now we'll go on, we'll do like a spiritual healing around it. We'll give you some techniques to be doing as well, you know, in the
Okay.
coming days and what have you. But you know, everything is a layering process. So, you know, normally people have a couple of sessions just to start, especially with something like this, just to start to peel back the layers.
Yeah.
We do have people training in this all the time. So if anybody's ever looking for a case study, then, you know, I can give them your details and stuff if you
Yeah.
want to carry on with sessions. But how do you feel? We haven't finished yet, but how do you feel with everything that's come up so far?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it's all sort of like stuff that I can relate to. So, you know, yeah, it's interesting how it works, you know, how it just sort of brings things up, as you said. So
Yes, if we were to have a conversation about it, you know, you probably wouldn't bring all this stuff up in one go.
no,
You know, it's just stuff that's floating around.
yeah.
As a result of today's session, how do you feel with, I mean, what's been the biggest insight for you so far?
Um, Sort of probably carrying all the mum and dad stuff around with me, I think. You know, because obviously they've both passed away, dad in 2014, mum in 2018. And, you know, I didn't really think that I was still dealing with their baggage as well as my own, if you like.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, probably always going to be in your bank of experience,
Mm,
but it's how we emotionally relate to it moving
yeah,
forward. And it doesn't just change particularly overnight, you know, it could be a process to get there, but just having awareness of it is the first step to understanding what's going on for you.
yeah.
I'm just interested to know, is there any way that you could maybe, or do you even feel like it, like looking for groups where you can start to get back into the place where you were before?
Yeah, I am. I mean, you know, I'd be interested now that sort of like COVID is
Yeah,
over as such.
yeah.
You know, yeah, no, definitely.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do now is take us into the treatment side of things. Okay, so the color we're going to bring in, so interesting, is orange.
Okay.
And this is connections in our social life, creativity, passion, and intimacy.
Yeah.
It's very much just what we just said. So this relates definitely to the sacral chakra with the color orange. So we're going to ask you to breathe that color in shortly. And as you breathe it in, just imagine it flooding your body. You breathe it out, it floods your field. So it's like a bubble, suspend you
Okay.
in a bubble of orange. And this is going to help you deepen your connection in your social life, your creativity, your passion, and your intimacy. So when we do the spiritual treatment, I ask you to repeat after me certain things. So I'll talk you through it as we go.
Okay.
And the most powerful thing about it is your intention. So intention's everything, a bit like, you know, the law of attraction.
Yeah.
We get what we ask for, unfortunately, because got all this negativity, you know, pumping out
Yeah.
into our reality. That's quite often like the stuff we're getting back unbeknown to us. So if we say, basically, if you give a command to your mind and your body,
Uh-huh.
your body has to follow suit.
Okay.
So, you know, that's how the law of attraction works. You command something, and then without any unwavering belief, you command it with that presence, and then it will eventually come into reality for you.
Okay.
So it's the same with anything. It's the same with the placebo effect. You know, if you're given a placebo and you're told this is the pill that's going to make you better,
Yeah.
take it, then the placebo effect can take place.
Yeah.
You've made yourself better. So it's a bit like that. So you have to have the belief in what you're saying. There's no point just going da, 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 and thinking about washing the dishes tonight.
Yeah.
It's you it's you being in the driver's seat of
Okay.
your life. All right, Jane. So I'll just ask you when you're ready just to close your eyes, just again, just to try and quiet down the mind, just bringing your awareness into the body, and more importantly, into the heart center. And as you take your awareness into the heart center, just imagine that heart area, that place of compassion and joy, just opening and expanding. And then on your next in breath, just imagine that beautiful color orange flooding into the body from the head all the way down the body to the tips of the toes. As you breathe in that beautiful color orange, as you breathe out, just expands all around your body from head to toe, front and back, almost suspends you in a bubble of orange light. And now, Jane, I'm just going to say some words, and if you could just repeat them after me. I command my subconscious mind
I command my subconscious mind
recalibrate all of the energetic imbalances
to calibrate all of the
energetic imbalances that have been brought to the surface
that have been brought to the surface
for clearing today.
for clearing today.
And just breathe in again, that beautiful color orange, just shifting your vibration. I command these energetic imbalances
I command these energetic imbalances
be removed from my cellular memory
be removed from my cellular memory
and deleted across all timelines
and deleted across all timelines
and through all generations,
and through all generations,
past, present, and future,
past, present, and future,
and from any other person
and from any other person
this may affect
this may affect
or be attached to.
or be attached to.
Just take a nice deep breath in, real meaningful breath, breathing in and out that orange light. And just notice if there are any subtle changes in that color, that vibration. And now repeat the following. I now give thanks,
I now give thanks,
for I have received healing
for I have received healing
from the spiritual plane of existence.
from the spiritual plane of existence.
Infinite Spirit
Infinite Spirit
opens the way
opens the way
and shows me
and shows me
what is now possible as I look into the future.
what is now possible as I look into the future.
Now just take a moment or two, Jane, just to really look into your future. Into your future when everything has worked out beautifully for you. You feel connected to yourself. That creativity, that passion, that drive comes back online. And you really have manifested the life that you truly want and deserve. And just know that every time you imagine or breathe, imagine breathing in and out that colour orange, you can be back in that place, solidifying this future life. And now just repeat, I now go freely
I now go freely
to receive all that
to receive all that
is my natural birthright
is my natural birthright
of unconditional love and abundance on all levels,
of unconditional love and abundance on all levels,
releasing all energetic imbalances
releasing all energetic imbalances
that have been holding me back,
that have been holding me back,
aligning me with my true spiritual essence.
aligning me with my true spiritual essence.
I replace all fear with love.
I replace all fear with love.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Just take another nice deep breath in for me, Jane. Well done. And when you feel ready, you can just gently open your eyes. Well done. How did that feel?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was nice.
Did you notice any changes in the colour?
Just towards the end, it sort of got a deeper orange. I'm not very good at visualizing, but as soon as I closed my eyes, I immediately had orange in front of me.
Brilliant. Could you visualize or sense a future?
Not very well, no.
How do you use your senses then? Do you just feel? Do you smell?
Yeah, I tend to feel yeah, it's like our old house. I knew it was haunted.
Yeah.
And I could feel and sense that there was other presences there, but I couldn't see them. But you know, there was a very the residual energy there, but it was quite negative energy as well, which impacted on me quite a lot.
Yeah. So when you say you don't visualize very well, how do you then, if somebody says to you, okay, think about what you want, you know, how do you think about things? I'm very visual, so for me it's easy, but some people aren't. So they get a sense of something, or they hear a sound which gives them. So when you say you didn't visualize very well, what did you see?
Well, funnily enough, the orange went and it was black in front of me, which was really weird. But I still felt calm, and that like things would work out, if you know what I mean. That was the sense that I got. It's like things would work out, even if I couldn't see what my future was or visualize it. It'll be okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that feeling. Okay. So, and if you feel you need to strengthen that feeling, do this anytime you can. The color breathing is so powerful. I can't underestimate it.
Yeah.
Just breathing in that color, because you saw the color, so you can visualize. So breathe in the color, see the color. But if it's the feeling that you want to embody, then keep feeling, because that's a real sense of trust that
Yeah.
you've just described there. So that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So the aftercare, it looks like we're working with an affirmation. So we'll find out what that is. So for Jane. So this is under the heading Forgiveness, Compassion and Harmony. So I'll just find the one. This one. I forgive myself for the mistakes and wrongdoings I have made. So I'm going to find out now how long you need to do this for. So how long does Jane need to say this affirmation for? Is it more than 5 days? 7? More than 7. So 6 days.
Yeah.
Twice a day for 6 days.
Okay, lovely.
All right, Jane.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I've written that down.
Good. I'll just I'll stop the recording now. We'll just have a little chat. Okay.